Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you? Happy Friday. I am Patrick Jordan, and I'm your host tonight, and you are watching Alone Together Pittsburgh. That's right. We've been streaming at you live for, I believe, 29 weeks. This is capping off week 29. We started in March. If you can do the math, you can put that together. We started right when the shelter-in-place order came down. We've been streaming at you live ever since, 3-4 days a week. We started the show as a sense to keep a sense of community going, to keep people connected because everybody was so kind of distant and not knowing what was going on. We wanted to be a sounding board for everybody, from artists to business people, people on the street. We've had everybody on the show and in between, a lot of musical guests, a lot of things along the way. It's kind of crazy that it's still going on, but hey, we're here. It's Friday. It has been an exhausting week. I mean, it is. Well, I'll talk about it later, but I don't even know. I mean, I'm just gonna have a little bit of Brew Gentleman, General Braddock's IPA here. And I don't usually like IPAs, but I do like theirs. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
I'll drink with you.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Ghost of Dave. Couple of things that are going on right now. See this thing tickering below the screen here, below me here? That is our Venmo. And if you feel like kicking in a couple of bucks to support the show, the money goes directly to the artists involved. That Venmo is @TogetherPGH. Even if it's $1, it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people are going to be asking you for money like recently, and it's a political season, and they're asking for money, and everybody's asking for money, and people are getting donor fatigue. But if you can kick in a couple of bucks, we would greatly appreciate it. That would be wonderful. And there's a couple other things that we do on this show that kind of get some hype out there in the world. And one of them is called the Engine House 25 Winery Jagoff Poll. That's right. EH25.com is Engine House 25 Winery. They sponsored this. We started this poll back in March. It is a giant bracket poll, all Pittsburgh-centric stuff. The Jagoff thing is not a derogatory term, but Engine House 25 Winery, if you go to EH25.com, you can see the selection that they have. It is fantastic. You can see the labels are like works of art. They make them all in-house. It also houses the Clemente Museum. You can see the Manny Sangui and Malbec label there. All of these wines are fantastic, and you can receive $5 off per bottle if you tell them at Engine House 25 Winery that you found out about them from Alone Together Pittsburgh. That is $5 off per bottle, not per case, per bottle. So if you buy a case of wine, you're going to save maybe, $50-$60. So get on that and hit them up at eh25.com. They also have some wine slushies to go from Lola's Eatery over the weekend. So hit those guys up right now. They also have free delivery in the area, and they also do curbside. So eh25.com. Check them out. But wait till after the show to do that, because right now what they sponsor is the Jag-Off poll. And we are down to the Sweet 16, folks. This is the best of the best. These are winners. This is like breaking people's hearts. Dave, tell them what happened last night.
Overnight, we had Kurt Angle versus YINZ. Big Monster Angle versus YINZ. Lots of votes out there. Lots and lots of votes. You people were excited. Let's find out who the big winner is, shall we? Let's do this together. We're on this journey together. We're all in this ship together. We're sailing along on the white water. Grizz is there making sure we don't get dunked. Let's check it out. Poll results. What could it possibly be? Well, just so happens, Kurt Angle dominated. Dominated! That's ridiculous. 95% of the vote for Kurt Angle. YINZ, retire it. It's over. You know what I mean? It's like, it's well worn. It was rode hard. Put away wet. Get rid of it. I'm done with it. YINZ, goodbye. Kurt Angle moves on. Could the Kurt man, could he have what it takes to take it all the way to the top to be the ultimate Jag?
I feel like the gold medalist, two-time World Wrestling and World Wrestling Entertainment. I was WWF. I keep going back to that. Champion. The guy's never lost. I kind of see Kurt Angle coasting to a victory here. I mean, some other people have gotten some votes, but Kurt Angle has consistently trounced. It's not like YINZ didn't get any votes. A lot of people voted for YINZ. But it was, wow. Pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. So Kurt Angle moves on to the Elite Eight, where he will face some of the little Jags that work their way into the thing, or someone like Jonas Salk. So we'll see how this goes when we break it down. But every single overnight Jag-Off poll is going to be getting crazy. But I say overnight because we have two kinds of Jag-Off polls. We also have a little Jag-Off and in-show Jag-Off poll that only you, the live viewing audience right now, get to vote on, right? So only you, the people that are listening to us on our audio-only podcast version of the show, they can't listen to it. They can't vote. People who are watching the show later in the night, they can't vote. Only you can. Dave, it's a doozy. Tell them what it is tonight.
For them Facebookers, you got to be one of your Facebookers. We're going to do a Pittsburgh off. Oh, you haven't had enough Pittsburgh talk? You ain't sick of that? Oh my God, Stillers for downtown Southside and Celebrity. How's that going to work out for you? How's that going to work out? Voting's going on right now. Oh my God, it's happening right friggin' now. So you can vote if you're on Facebook. You're SOL if you're not. Here we go. We're doing it. It's happening already. Downtown's in the lead. Southside ain't nowhere. Celebrity ain't nowhere. Stores 22. Whatever. I don't know. This is getting old.
All right. So what's happening here isn't the neighborhood you're voting for. It's the language. It's the use of Pittsburghese. It's the slang, right? So downtown, Celebrity, Southside, Stillers. These are Pittsburgh versions of words. And what just to clarify that for you, just like I have to clarify the Jag-Off portion of this. But I will say this, Steelers being in there, I'm going to miss the Steelers playing today, on Sunday. Because COVID related, Tennessee Titans had 4 or 5 players come down with COVID-19 and 4 or 5 members of the staff. So they had to postpone the game. So I think... I mean, it took 3 weeks for this to happen, for people to slip up. What do you think? What do you think, Pete?
Oh, I thought the Oilers were going to take it this week. Weren't they supposed to play the Oilers?
Yeah, they were. They were going to play the Oilers and the Baltimore Colts. It was going to be a hell of a game.
Isn't Tennessee? Weren't they the Oilers?
That would be Houston.
Was it Houston? No,
the Houston Texans. Are, it's not like they became. There was no.
No, because didn't the Oilers move and then become the Titans or something?
Oh
And then
yeah. I thought you meant
the
like
Texans
the town,
were
the
became
town,
like
yeah.
they were like an expansion team.
Yeah, the Texans were an expansion team that went back to the town. They were the expansion team the same year. I believe the Browns were the expansion team because the Browns left to become
They
the
became the
Ravens.
Ravens.
It's very confusing. I was going to talk about COVID, but now we can talk about all the teams.
I
that
mean, I
moved
think
in
it's
the
kind of
cover
cool that the
darkness.
Browns. Is the Browns and Green Bay are both owned by the city or something like that?
The Browns are
That's-
not.
They were,
the Green Bay.
weren't they?
Green Bay is
the Browns were.
they're the only and they're the last ones to be able to do it. But like the town of Green Bay, Wisconsin, are shareholders in the team, which means the team's never going to leave.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a great little.
Although none of them should be playing right now. But
Yeah, I'm surprised they're playing, and I'm also surprised it went 3 weeks without anything going. But I did notice, like you flip through, you see stuff, you see players from other teams. The Steelers have been pretty good about it, because I haven't seen anything negative about it. But you saw like players from the Las Vegas team, they're going to like fundraisers and stuff, don't have masks on, going stuff like that. As we know, mask wearing is crucial. It's the only weapon that we have that we're in control of right now, and I know it's become political, but you can see how it ends up. It's just there's
how's it end up, Patrick? Tell me.
You could get COVID if you're flaunting it.
No shit, really?
Yeah. It's not a hoax. It's not gonna be gone by April.
Oh, man.
It's like it's all of these things. I'm not trying to spike the ball here. I do not wish anyone to get COVID-19 at all. Anyone, anywhere. So that's it, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So but
Pretty
anyway,
wild.
so that's going on right now.
Pretty
But
wild.
the NFL, you're seeing it's happening there. It's happening, and if it can happen in the White House, okay, and it has happened in the White House for months. There have been people, staff members, have been coming down with it in a place where you're tested constantly. Just think about how easily it can happen in your town where you don't have testing constantly, where you don't have people who are actively trying to keep you safe. It can happen anywhere, and
I mean,
it's not,
them Steelers ain't playing.
the Steelers aren't playing. No one on the Pittsburgh team has COVID. Has come down with it. It's just the players from the players that they're going to be playing against. And I'm glad the game's not happening this week. I'm not thrilled with how like the breakdown is, where they're kicking the game to another thing, but I'm thrilled that they're not playing. That
I just don't
that they didn't
understand why
decide
they
to
didn't-
take 4 or 5 out and then try to play. Go ahead, Pete.
Right. I just don't understand why they didn't do the bubble thing like the NHL and NBA did.
I think they were supposed to, but I mean, it's twice as many people or 3 times as many people involved, like than an NBA team or an NHL team. I mean, there's 56 men on the roster. I think they have 6 or more people on the practice squad. Then you've got umpteen trainers, coaches, position coaches, blah 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 blah. Let's take Pete out because he's if he wants to talk to me about something and ask a question, doesn't want an answer. That's cool. I don't think Pete's very sporty. Let's talk about whitewater rafting, and then we can go all day. But anyway, so that's all. The COVID thing, what I was trying to get at is it is locked in. It's not going anywhere, and it's on the front burner. And hopefully, people will take it seriously now. Who felt like the COVID doesn't care if you're a big tough guy or if you're an obese 75-year-old head of a corporation or a country. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't give a shit. Science doesn't care about politics. So what we have is the masks. So whatever Bruce Springsteen says, I'll go on, especially if he says...
Hail na hero, hail dang dang, booga dang dang, digga dang dang dang, dang digga ding 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 ding, digga digga ding 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 dang dang dang, digga digga dog 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 dog.
So anyway,
Put on
Hope we don't
a
get hit-
fucking mask.
I
there
don't
it
get hit
is.
for copyright for Dave singing that song.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds. I thought Springsteen was with us tonight. So anyway, that's cool. Check that out. Speaking of Springsteen, Joe Grishecki and Bruce Springsteen have a song out. It's posted on our Facebook page. If you scroll down, you can find it. It's called "That's What Makes Us Great." It's a great song. It's a great video. I got chills watching it. So check that out. But yeah, I mean, we can go on and on about this, about the situation. But like, really, I feel like I aged 5 years this week. I feel like there was enough news to come out since Monday that it's been essentially. Yeah, I don't believe. I mean, since COVID happened, the news has been coming at us so fast. I feel like what drove me nuts on Tuesday, something else drove me nuts on Wednesday. Thursday was batshit bonkers, and then at about 12:30 in the morning, you see news break that's like, oh my god. And then today was just a total insane show. Anyway, we got a great show for you tonight. Natalie Bencivenga is going to be here doing 5 minutes with Dave Bracey. Is going to be brewing, talking about brews and other things. And
I'm sure he's got other things to talk about.
We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of which, is Day with us?
I got yeah.
So hey, let's without further ado, let's bring him out here. You know him from stand-up comedy, Fresh Fest, DigiFest, and just being an all-around great guy. Regular Friday Day. What's going on, man?
What's good with y'all, man? How y'all feeling tonight?
I'm
Cheers.
I'm just getting through the week, man. How are you?
I'm alive, mostly healthy, and semi-sane. So there's that. My condolences go out to the 34 million people who have been infected, who have died from this virus, and who are recovering. It's a worldwide thing. It's not just American, and the world is still fighting this. Unfortunately, we can't get to most of that world because America has been kind of cut off. It's more or less like a shithole country. If you want to get out, you got to do some like refugee type shit these days, and find like an underground railroad or whatever to get to Canada, because they don't even want us up there. So fuck Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck if he's sick. I'm not wishing death upon anybody that doesn't rule the free world and consider this a hoax. So shout out to that. I'm in my car because I was in transit, doing things. So I'm live from inside my vehicle.
Well, let's go. You're not driving, are you?
No.
Okay. I'm not gonna hear like a horn blowing and.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad. I stopped by at Allegheny City Brewing tonight, and they had a collaboration beer that they did with 412 Beer. They're a local group advocating craft beer, and Pittsburgh Crafts Beer Society did a collaboration with Allegheny City. Nyami, I believe, is how you pronounce that. This is the can there. It's a stout, about 8%. It's stout season. So if you're into chocolate and coffee and roasty malts, then this is for you. I'm super excited. This is my favorite time of the season, time of the year. A lot of margins are out there, a lot of like lagers, and I'm a big fan of lagers and pilsners and things of that nature. But stouts are just all year round thing for me, and it's hard to get those in the summer. So now they're plentiful, and from now until probably about March, you're going to be able to get your fill of them, and that's actually my first stout purchase in a little while. So I'm excited to crack into that.
Has it got that milky flavor that you like in the stout?
I still haven't had it yet. I picked it up and I'm on my way back to the crib.
You don't be drinking right now, yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I wasn't condoning that.
probably like not right now, but shortly. I'll be getting into that. But I hear good things about it, and I know that Allegheny City right now has like a version of like a beer garden across the street. Mm-hmm. So it's you got to eat. So there's like usually a truck out there. You go in, you grab your booze. There's like these markers or whatever. Everybody's 6 feet apart. Masks are required. They have them at the door if in case you forget it. I'm not sure why you would forget it, but in case you are one of those kind of folks, and you can go across the street and there's, like I said, order some food and have some socially distant drinking going on, outside and 6 feet apart with your own cohort of folks. shout out to Allegheny City. Trying to do what they can to stay afloat.
I've heard great things about that brewery. I've only had a couple beers from them, but it's been probably at least 2 years. So I don't.
Yeah, and then they're over on the north side, because the north side used to be called Allegheny City. It was apparently a completely different city, and then Pittsburgh it was some weird way like they had a vote, and like they didn't have enough votes from Allegheny City to like fight them off, so then they just got incorporated into Pittsburgh. So yeah, there's
then they build a bunch of high rises, and so they cut the view out, and so everybody on Allegheny City couldn't see shit anyway. Like it was basically, if you look at what they put in there, what's that? What's the mall over there? Like all that
Parkway Center.
Not Parkway Center Mall. We're talking about on the north side.
The Allegheny City Mall.
Allegheny, whatever. Yeah. If you look at that development there,
that's right.
So if you think about what that town looked like with old Allegheny, if you've seen pictures of it, like the new Hazlitt Theater and stuff, all the buildings were cool like that, brownstones. It was a sweet, like bustling neighborhood, and they just kind of flattened the whole thing. They kind of just like PennDOTted it out, and like we're like, this is the future. And we're going to put a square in the middle of it. You're just only going to be able to drive one way around this big square and these tall square buildings. So we'll just block out the entire skyline of that city across the river. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. So like you can walk around and see like the old post office and like amazing, which is the Children's Museum now. Like you see like these old buildings with like this incredible architecture. And then anyway, that's a whole other story. But anyway.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's wild because I didn't know that story until I actually, interviewed Allegheny City. I didn't, didn't understand that. But like it makes sense because like the north side really is its own city. Like, I mean, there's within the north side, there's like different areas that are like they have their whole like they're their own culture over there, man. Yeah. Like, they have a pride that's like very north side pride that it's hard to find in other areas of Pittsburgh that are they're Pittsburgh, but the north side is very uniquely the north side.
There's the north side.
You can see it.
There's the north side and there's the outside is what my father and my father's from the north side, so yeah. that's what I kind of grew up with. That
he's from down there.
That's like he's from over there. But yeah. So anyway, so any other beers, my friend?
No other beers. I know that
cool.
black metal is still out there. We went to the release party last week. It was outside. And
how'd it go?
It was, man, Byron is a goddamn like rock god, man. He just so there weren't many people that look like us, but they all very much enjoyed the show despite that. It's Mount Pleasant, so it's very much Trump country up there, and I went up there because I didn't want Byron to be alone. It was a sign of solidarity. So I took the drive, and I mean that's just far out there, man. Like I live in Beaver, so like I drove into the city or whatever. Like I stopped at my sister's place and picked some things up, and then I Googled it, and it was like, yeah, you got another hour, bro. And I'm like, what? But I drove out there and whatnot, and I mean, they make great beer. Most folks managed to stay distant, and they rocked it the fuck out. So shout out to Byron.
Yeah, he was itching to play to like people.
It was, I mean, outside of the fest, and the fest was, there wasn't anybody there outside of the staff and the crew. So, like that was dope. It was like a private concert that we had. But that was the first time I had been to like an event, like a live concert, since pre-COVID. Since I don't know, like
right.
Shit, maybe sometime last fall was the last time I saw like live music. So I mean, the feeling that you get when you're listening to like music with other people is just unmatched, man. It was something to see. I don't foresee myself going out to any other, concerts or events. So it was nice to at least have that one, here in 2020 and just be reminded, that like, even being out there in Trump country or whatever, that, we're all humans. And, like music is it's a universal language, along with like food and beer and other things. So It was an amazing time. There was a lot of unity out there, and very very excited to get back to it next year.
Now
But I
that
mean, we're not
I
going to
mean,
get there
music,
unless we do what we need to do.
right?
So we got to mask up and stay distant, man.
For now, yeah. I mean, what you're saying there's it's beautiful though. Like the arts kind of bring us together, right? Music, anything, comedy, theater, anything, film, everything. We can kind of like how we kind of can relate, and it's just and that's what's getting kind of pushed away right now. Like we're missing that, and I mean, even the governor of Pennsylvania was like, yeah, no one's gonna die from not going to see a play, and I'm like,
yeah.
there's thousands of people that work on and what it does. I'm like, come on now. I mean, yeah, on a weekend, yeah, okay, but we're talking a long time. But
Yeah,
I feel like like what you said. You go out to Trump country, Byron's out there killing it, and you know what I mean, like looking like the rock god that he is. And Jared just chimed in and said, definition of hustle. Also see Byron Nash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, nobody's gonna die from not seeing a play, but mental health is important, and that's what like this whole we do what we can digitally. This show, with DigiFest and everything else, but like it's not the same. It doesn't have the same community feel when you're all sharing a space and the energy that you get from the crowd. Whether you're on stage or whether you're just in the crowd, like it's just we're social animals, and we need that. And nobody's gonna die from not seeing a play maybe this week, but I guarantee you, if you keep the arts away from people long enough, you'll start to see some breakdown in society.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, as we go into winter, like that might have been your last chance to see a concert. Like it's kind of a bummer. I mean, I know, like, when we come out of winter, usually, like, and I go into like outdoor event season, people are like ready to go. Like they're out there. They don't care if it's raining in April or May. They're out there. And now we don't have that. So now we're going into a cold, long winter.
But I mean, hold on a second.
So you have to take that, Patrick?
No, I'm sorry. I had to mute this. I'm sorry. I don't mind my daughter talking, but
I didn't know that was.
She was like listening to some like troll music from the movie Trolls, and I was just like, okay. I can. Her voice is cute, but I don't need to hear like Anna Kendrick.
I thought it was just your ringtone.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? That's it in a nutshell. But anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. Where we talking? Oh, I mean, the other thing is like you talk about. Doing stuff indoors, right? Everyone, I think the nation just got a crash course in it by finding out what the president did to contract this, and then what everyone had to go through at the debate on Tuesday, right? And how. Go ahead. But just breaking down how the difference between outdoor, indoor, and the fact that, they're 12 feet apart on the stage. No, you see, the thing is, the fact that dude was yelling the way he was, that's essentially equivalent of like an opera singer out there, and that can project out 35 feet.
Yeah.
So all of the above. So basically everybody's at risk in that room. Because they don't have, even though it was at, it was at like, the hospital, the school, right? That room wasn't like operating room air filtration, right? So you don't know what happened there. And half that room did not wear masks. You know what I mean? And they all were on the one side of the room. So like, and the other half all wore masks. So everybody's at risk. So, but like watching all that, I just saw like 6 different doctors over the last 12 hours basically just talk about like analyzing how everything was. And in my head, after I get done being pissed off, in my head, I'm relating that to, theater, concerts, like just movies, bands, show, everything, like how that's going to be and how far we are from being able to get back to that, especially if the winter's coming. Anyway, that's just me. I'm sorry.
I mean, and it's wild to even hear because they said that, the president showed up late, which is just wild as shit. And he got in, like he didn't take a test, and he got in off of the honor system. And that's just proves, how white privilege hurts everybody, because I know black people can't get a loan off of bad credit. You see what I'm saying? So, allowing this motherfucker to come in with the credit that he has and then give him the honor system, like this motherfucker in the honor system.
There was a teacher from Penn State that got interviewed, and he was like, I have to fill out a form to go into the building every day. I have to go through a checklist about, like, do I have this symptom, this symptom, this symptom? Was I around this person, that person? Or they don't let me in. You know what I mean? To the building. So I don't know. The fact
that they didn't give him a temperature check and he's orange, like, I mean, like, come on.
The temperature would not have tested through that. That's like a force field, right? He would have come out with all zeros. But anyway, but yeah, I don't want to like just harp on the situation, but the fact that like this just goes to everybody else with wearing the mask, and we talk about it every night on the show, and everybody should talk about it. It's not a political thing; it's science, all that stuff. But the fact that he was told he was positive, right, for the coronavirus, he was told that, and he still got on the plane, went to New Jersey to a fundraiser, did not wear a mask, and no one at the fundraiser was wearing masks, and they weren't told to. The fact that happened after he was already given the positive thing, that's got to be a breaking point for anybody. I know it won't be, but I'm just saying, like, that's got to be like, anyway.
But this country was founded off of biological warfare. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just it's a continuation of the tradition that's old, as old as this country. So hopefully this is the election that we start to look at some of America's past, and current behavior, and decide as a society that, like, it's just it's archaic, and it's not, what got us here isn't going to get us there. So we need to restructure the way we think and the way that we view certain people, because again, it's a thing that hurts everybody. That credit that white folks get, it's a over credit, because I don't get that credit, and and it's the thing is that, like, nobody should get that kind of credit,
right?
But the fact that like, you look a certain way, you get a lot of rope, a little bit more rope than maybe you should. So we got to check that as a society.
So we all got to start getting spray tans.
Yeah.
But
the only color that matters is orange.
All right, so I mean, we can all get there. I mean, I'm sure that's it. I want to bring in Natalie Bencivenga because I wanted to talk to us about this before we get into 5 minutes with. I think she wants to jump in. We're a little more free form here.
I'm literally like, I think Dave heard me because I'm like muttering.
Yeah, no. I was going to bring you, but I just wanted to.
Because I'm like, oh, it just makes me so angry. But first, it's great to see you, Dave.
Yeah. Real quick. Jared just chimed in. Working as at Heinz Field as a photographer, he has to answer multiple emails, have to answer another set of prompts on his phone when entering, temperature checks, gets a wristband just to let everyone know that he doesn't have a temperature. Then he gets issued a vest, credentials, armband. So everybody has to go through these prompts, and then somebody who's just like straight up strutting, like, kind of leaning a little forward when he walks because
hair taped back. He's
He had the tracks were showing, but it's just crazy that everyone has to go through all these things. School teachers. Anyway, go on, Natalie. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to add to this in the sense that I don't know why we're all acting surprised, because they've not shown like they've cared about anybody since the inception of this. I mean, I think 1,000 people died just today. They don't care. They don't.
We're at 210,000 deaths.
I mean,
in the
that
United
is a
States,
staggering
20% of the world.
Amount of people. That is and that doesn't include the people. Like, I have friends right now that have recovered from COVID, but they are now suffering long-term effects of it. They've been sick for months. And so we're not even equipped to deal with that. And this exposes all of the social inequities, including our failure of a for-profit healthcare system, because how are we going to handle all of these new influxes of cases that are going to continue? So we've opened Pandora's box, and all because we had to, politicize a virus to what they thought would be their gain. And actually, I know it is going to be their downfall, and I'm looking forward to that day. But having said that, I don't wish anyone ill from this virus, but it's hard to feel a lot of sympathy when this person has done nothing to help in any way and has only instead created more chaos. The fact that people are even questioning whether or not he has it is astounding to me, because that's how much he's messed with our media.
Well, that's what he's messed with everybody. He's the boy that cried wolf, right? So there's so many conspiracy. He built his political career on a conspiracy theory, and racist, based in racism. So he basically that's how he got here. So everything is a conspiracy theory from Hillary's emails on down through the whole thing. Everything's a conspiracy theory. This thing is rigged. This is a hoax. This is fake. This is that. And everyone keeps hearing that. So now no one believes. Now you've got half the country that doesn't believe this guy actually has it, or is like hesitant. And I hate the fact that I'm hesitating, and it actually went through my head. I'm like, maybe he's faking this because the jobs number came back 250,000 jobs lower than it was supposed to. Terrible debate performance. He's 13 points down in one of the polls. Honestly, his wife's thing drops. Like it all happened in 2 days.
The only thing that I think that makes me think he's not faking this is because he's in a hospital setting at this point. And actually, I wonder if he's had this much longer than they've admitted to, and he's had an opportunity to infect many more people, and now his symptoms have increased to the point where they could no longer hide this. That's where my head is currently.
Factually, like what we've got going here, we know for a fact. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I'm not there. I'm pretty positive that the man has it.
What's facts?
What are facts? But the fact that they are saying that he was told he had it officially, and continued to go to a fundraiser, and did not wear a mask and did not inform anybody that he had it, and still went to that fundraiser anyway, makes me believe that this could have happened a lot earlier.
I'm just waiting for them to blame Obama for it. That's what I'm waiting for. When's that happening?
I mean, I was told that I was talking to a fella on the interwebs, and he was saying how Antifa is a terrorist group, and they're not an organization.
It's an idea, but
but he said that they're a terrorist group, much like Al Qaeda, much like the Klan, and much like the media. So I'm here to inform you all that you are all terrorists, apparently by standards of some of his supporters, because you utilize facts and figures like the coronavirus and the deaths therein as ways to scare people into doing what you want them to do. So you are all terrorists in the eyes of some people, and I'm sorry that you had to hear it from me.
To dismantle democracy, the first thing you have to do is dismantle journalism. And I mean, I think that's what we've seen across the country with a lot of publications folding, looking at legacy media like the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette making a hard turn into crazy town and now on the verge of a strike. When you can start to dismantle credible journalism that does have gatekeeping, that does have editors, that does have people fact checking, and then you start spewing out all of these random bloggers and this odd information that suddenly starts filling up your feed, it can be very perplexing and confusing for people that really don't understand the difference between a blog and a journalist. And that's concerning to me too. When you start to vilify actual journalists, you can really start to put roots in a fascist state, which is where we're headed if we're not careful. So I hope everybody votes. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, happy Friday, and just want everyone TGIF everybody.
Process.
Every time I'm on, every Friday that we're on, I feel like something has happened. Literally 24 hours before I see you, and I'm sorry.
But no, it's okay. But I talked about this a little earlier in the show, that it's the insane thing for me is literally there were 55 news cycles this week. Like it was an insane amount of shit getting thrown at everybody, and it's all turns into just white noise. I mean, the stuff that was dropped and talked about and said in that debate, and the way that it was handled and talked about should be enough. We should be talking about that forever. It's gone. We're not talking about it. I told you, like I started talking about this before. The jobs numbers were terrible. Melania Trump with the shit with the kids in cages.
That was Christmas. Like a blip on the radar.
People didn't even know what it was, but people were just like wondering what's this all about. Like all of these different things, and I could care less about what the first lady says or does. I mean, I don't think we should even be talking about it. But like, there was so much, 10 things that could have dropped, and now it's off. No one talks about it.
The head of Homeland Security accused Trump of suppressing news that Russia was interfering with our elections. Like, he came out and said that the head of Homeland Security said that Trump was suppressing news about Russian interference. The head of Homeland Security, like, and nobody's talking about it.
Not a blip.
There's just so much bullshit flying at us. We're just like, what can we dodge here and there? Like,
it's wild. It is.
Wait, what happened with Rick Moranis?
Oh, somebody beat him up in New York. He was in the hospital.
What?
Like, yeah, it was some
Donna just chimed it in on the chat feed there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Rick Moranis?
Yes. Somebody like beat him up. It's terrible. He's okay though. I read it on People Magazine.
like let's forget all about Trump and the Homeland Security. Rick Moranis. This is like we're all like cats. We're like cats with string. It's just like we're just like cats with balls. We're like, what's is this over here?
It's
just like ADD world. Like there were 5 or 6 things that happened in that debate that we should talk about forever, and it's just we're on to the next thing.
I'm still hung up on his debate with Hillary.
You got to let that go.
I will never let it go.
We're gonna have to let that go. But anyway, yeah, it's been crazy. It's nice talking to people about it, but it's like I mean, I get caught up in this like, am I like, just because I'm thinking the 37 conspiracy theories that it could be or what it could be. I hate the fact that I'm thinking that, because I start thinking, am I the people that hated Obama so much that it was like going on? I mean, I know Obama's biggest scandal was like a tan suit.
He wore a tan suit,
and like a T salute. But like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I got to.
So crazy people don't know that they're crazy. You see what I'm saying? And
like crazy,
the fact that you are questioning
yourself,
a different level. I agree.
Is a difference between you and every one of those. Like they don't. The thought that maybe I'm wrong, just I don't feel like that crosses their mind. So,
speaking of crazy, though, can we talk a little bit about the fact that there's these concerns about poll watchers when you go to actually?
That was another blip on the radar there from the.
That to me was extremely concerning, because that's a federal offense, by the way. I mean,
Well, they lifted. There was this deal, more or less, that was enforced by the courts, that they weren't allowed to send poll watchers down there, to intimidate black people, more or less, out of voting, and that ended this year. So now it is legal for them to send down poll watchers, and that's a thing that, again, one of those things that in the news really, like, it came out, and unless you were really like watching it, you didn't realize it. And that happened earlier this year, and now at that debate you heard him say, hey, I want my supporters to go down and watch for suspicious activity and fraud. That's something that he was able to do because of the legislation that expired this year. So it's all connected. And it's going to be it's scary, because I imagine a lot of armed individuals standing around the polls, probably on both sides, trying to even things out. And I don't see that going well. For
on
America.
top of mass voter suppression, now we have to deal with this. It's like another obstacle.
Are you guys going to be voting in person?
I am.
I was just curious.
So I have a piece of news that I'm very excited about. I got my mail-in ballot in the mail, right? I am going to vote in person.
Okay.
I applied for the mail-in thing for the primary, right? Thinking like,
so it finally arrived?
COVID was at its thing, right? It never came, right? So I had to do provisional in person, even though I didn't want to leave there. And basically there was really not from where I'm living, there wasn't a ton to vote for, but so I had to go with a provisional ballot, but it was a primary. So I'm assuming my vote got counted. But so I was terrified that I wasn't going to be able to get to vote, or it wasn't going to get counted, or I was going to have to go provisional and they were going to toss it out. Because literally I would stand in a bucket of COVID for 12 hours to vote in this election.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we don't have luckily my polling place isn't, I live in a white neighborhood, so my polling place is cool. If you live in a black neighborhood, you probably got lines. You know what I mean? You probably got to stay out there for hours. You probably got to call off of work, and you probably got to worry about, Proud Boys showing up to your place. So I mean, to be able to vote in person in America is a privilege. You know, and if like, you know, I don't know if you had heard or whatever, but like, you know, if you did get your mail-in ballot, but you want to vote in person, I believe you have to take it with you. You have to make sure that like you turn it in because
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have to destroy it in the
Yeah.
place. Sarah Enamorado is going to be on the show next week, and basically going to be taking a lot of questions from the audience and from us, basically just about voting, how the process works, the mail-in versus this and that, basically taking any questions that are going on. So it'd be worth you know, checking out. If you're bored, you want to come in, Day, we can all talk. Natalie, too.
I love Sarah Honorado.
Yeah.
She's the best.
So yeah. But I got to peace out.
Yeah, cool.
Appreciate y'all having me on, and y'all stay safe until next week.
Thank you so much,
Amy,
Day.
great to
Day.
see you.
All right.
Nice to see y'all. Well.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
I like
All right.
that we keep it light, you know.
Well, we keep it light. I mean, we were
we're
so
like-
light, Natalie. It was so light. Then you came in and started dropping bombs.
Did not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. This
I was just adding to it.
this show was all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops.
It was
then
really-
you
it
you
started
came
on
in
the
with
front,
like, you know, where
sunshine.
it's the democracy's dead.
Patrick, we can save democracy.
we can right now.
Yes.
You know one way to do that.
Vote.
5 minutes with.
Oh, that too.
That's right, and then voting first, but you can't. But unless you got you can't vote right now. But you
It's true.
can watch 5 minutes. So tell us what we're going to see here with 5 minutes with tonight.
So I did something a little different this week. So I thought maybe I would, you know, lighten it up because I have been, I think, a little heavy the last couple of weeks. So this week I interviewed Ashley Priore, who is an amazing young woman, and she started the Queen's Gambit because when she was young, she used to be really into chess, and she was an amazing chess player. And she would go to these tournaments, and it was all boys and no girls. And so she started this institute. She's only 21. And she started, I know, it's like, what am I doing with my life? And she started this institute to like help young girls get interested in chess. But more importantly, it teaches them critical thinking skills that they can then use in the real world to solve all the problems. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Hey, let's roll tape, and I'll talk to you a little bit on the other side of it.
Sounds good.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencivenga, host of 5 Minutes With. And this week I am so excited to introduce everyone to Ashley Priore. She is the founder and CEO of the Queen's Gambit. And for a lot of people, you may actually not know what that means. I didn't know what it meant until I learned about this incredible organization that really focuses on chess and getting young girls and women involved in playing chess, but it's so much more. So thank you so much for joining us, Ashley.
Thank you so much for having me.
So for people that may not know too much about your organization, can you talk a little bit about how you started this?
Yeah, absolutely. So Queen's Gambit started back in 2014. I was in high school and I had this idea to start an organization to empower women through chess. Since chess is such a male-dominated game, I used to play when I was younger, and to go to tournaments and there's no one that looks like you, it can be very hard and it can feel like you don't belong in that space. So I wanted to make sure that women who play feel like they do belong and that they are empowered through it. And since our founding, we have done tons of after-school programs for youth in the city. We have partnered with over 50 organizations to expand critical thinking through chess. And I'm really excited because we've been growing so much that we now have a strategy consulting firm to go along with it.
Wow, and how old are you?
20.
Okay, just to like put it out there. You're so young and you started this incredible thing. And what I really latched onto when you and I met a few years ago and we were talking about this was the fact that you're so passionate about equity and these issues that impact young women and girls. And can you talk a little bit more about sort of that energy and what you're bringing to the Queen's Gambit because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been interested in politics and this idea of community work and activism. And I knew that Queen's Gambit needed to be more than just, in quotes, a chess club, because those just aren't inclusive. And so through our programs, we do so much work around this idea of equity. What does equity mean? What does strategy mean? And how do we combine those two things to really look at problems and come up with innovative solutions? Strategy is one of those things that is not taught in school. People don't talk about it. We only talk about it in the context of organizations in strategic planning. And so this is really exciting because we are solving society's obstacles through chess. So when we teach chess, we talk about the issues that are facing young Americans, and we try to come up with different solutions.
Yeah, what I love about it is the critical thinking component of not telling people what to think, but teaching them how to think, and how that makes such a difference in the way that you're approaching problems on the chessboard as opposed to, problems in real life too. And you guys have a big event coming up very soon, correct? On October 9th. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for the past couple of years, we've been hosting a Pittsburgh Chess Conference. And usually it takes place in June, since that's the anniversary of when we were founded. But due to COVID, we couldn't have it. So we're having a virtual event, and it's celebrating chess in the region. We're going to have a fundraiser to go along with it, and giving out different awards for some of our community partners.
That sounds like that's going to be amazing, and I'm really honored to get to be a part of it. I'm going to be helping with the emceeing of that event. So it's going to be a great time and a great night, and I'm just so impressed with the work that you do, and I'm so honored and lucky to know you, and thank you so much for being a part of 5 Minutes With.
Thank you so much for having me.
That packed a punch. I mean, here's what I'm saying, right? Like you can see it on the comment section. Everybody's even more depressed with what they've done with their lives. Like Jared Wickham just said she ran for the school board when she was 19.
She did.
Like you know what I mean? Amanda's like, what a badass. Everybody's just like blowing up. Like, what if we're all failures in life? Yeah, man. Yeah, she's great. And thank you so much for bringing her on.
And in light of everything that's going on, when you see someone like that, that's so young, that has so much passion and wants to work to make things better, it gives me hope for the future, and hopefully gives everybody else a little sense of hope that, we have the power to change things. We really do. And sometimes I feel like things feel so out of control, but in actuality, we actually do have a lot more power than we think. And I think she's a great example of that. So I'm really glad that we got to have her on the show.
We're in good hands, because someone's going to have to fix this stuff for us.
That's right. Ashley would be the one.
But that is great. We got a little, Gina sent something over here, didn't she, Pete?
She did. She texted it to us. I sent it to Dave.
Yeah, look, check this out. This is your satellite locations for voting.
Awesome.
So just take a look at these right here. From Saturday, October 10th. You got all the dates there lined up on the Saturdays. Find your location on there. We'll leave it up for a little bit while we finish chatting up the place here.
And we'll post it on our Facebook afterwards too, so people can get the information there.
Yeah, so check that out. Make sure you get it. That's good. That's good, Natalie. I was about to tell Dave. I was like, Dave, bring Natalie over here. But that's even better. So we should all just look and act like, oh.
I feel like we're in like a Brady Bunch or something, like the opening sequence.
Like Saturday, October 18th.
That's amazing. That's better. There it was. Okay. Well, nope. There I am.
All right, back to the thing. Well, Natalie, thank you so much.
I love being with you guys. This was so
much fun. This was great. I'm glad you got to come in a little early too. I'm glad you had time.
Thanks for letting me. I think it was more just because I was backstage.
Oh no! We wanted to do it. Dave was like, I think Natalie wants to come in. I'm like, just once Dave takes a break, bring her. You know what I mean? Like,
I was just literally muttering to myself. So poor Davey.
Oh no, it's great. I mean, just the more voices, the merrier at the and add to the conversation. So thanks for that. So we're gonna wrap things up, but before we do, I want to ask you, and I forgot to ask Dave because we jumped right into things. Where do you go on Sliberty, Stillers, downtown, or Southside?
Where do I go?
The pronunciations of those words. Which one would be your favorite or most akin to Pittsburgh? The way it's said. Obviously, Steelers is Stillers.
Right.
Downtown's downtown. Southside, Sliberty.
You know what? I think I'm going to have to go with downtown.
Okay.
I don't know. It feels very Pittsburgh when I hear that. I don't know.
Pete, what do you think? What's yours?
I'd probably go with downtown as well. I used to be a
Pete.
Stillers fan, but then, after that Rapegate thing, I stopped watching.
See, we bring out the sun. No matter what the conversation.
Sorry.
You can
Sorry.
take it and turn it around.
I
That's,
stopped
that's
watching
totally
the
fine.
Steelers
I'm
when
gonna
that shit happened.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about football with you, Pete. I don't want to ask you a question
there's
about.
56 players on the team and there's 7 trainers and blah, blah.
Well, you did ask a specific question, and along the lines
I
of.
know.
See,
You asked a specific question. I don't know why they can't bubble just like hockey. And I was like, well, hockey has way less people and football has more people. I thought you were being serious and asking a question instead of just like moving things along.
I was
And
just busting your balls. a
You
little
weren't
bit.
busting my balls. You got tired, okay? You got tired because you're getting old for all those rapids. I know.
No, I was working on deck today. So.
Of course you were. Anyway,
my God.
Dave, how'd the voting go? I was going to say my favorite was Sliberty, but go on, Dave.
Sliberty.
Downtown.
See?
All right, there it is. I like Sliberty
I like
because East. I don't know why. It's just like Sliberty.
Sliberty.
It just feels. I mean, downtown's obviously like the core. That should have won. So, I guess that's what it. I
It's
guess
the most recognizable.
Yeah, I'm stick with that. Downtown. All right. So I'm glad that won. But now something else. We've got another poll coming at you. Nat, if you want to stay here for it, Dave, tell us what the overnight poll is for the weekend.
Dave, you look so ominous.
Because he's not ready.
He's
for that.
mad. He's like upset.
He's so angry about this poll.
Is this?
Especially with that beard, he just looks like.
I know. It's kind of fun, you know. There we go. that's better.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been put upon me, the chain, the cross that I have to bear to bring you the jagoff for the overnight poll. Check out the pgh.com/vote if Pete remembers to put it up. We'll see about that one. I'll believe it when I see it. Your overnight poll is parking chair versus Nebby. There's Patrick being Nebby. I think I see Hillary Clinton being Nebby. There she is, Hillary. She's mad. She's still mad. She has every right to be. Pete's mad. He has no right to be mad. Patrick, he's lost his marbles. It's the overnight poll, Nebby versus parking chair. Pittsburgh, aren't you sick of this yet? I know I am.
Dave had his his intros were so spot on amazing that he's resetting the bar. He's resetting the stage.
It's amazing.
He's lowering it so he can bring it up again. He's not really totally disgusted by this, but it is the famous
Loves it.
Pittsburgh parking chair
This is a
versus
good
the
one.
word Nebby. Well, they're all going to be good from now on because it's all the winners on top of winners. There's only 8 left. There's only 8 left. We've been doing this for literally 6 months.
This is a tough one for me.
Yes, Mrs. Mansueto, this is the Nebby that is the same as the Neb shit. That's why we put photos of Patrick creeping in people's windows being a Neb shit.
Don't you talk about me with swear words, Peter.
I'm just...
That wasn't really
it's Dave's
me.
mom.
Just-
That
I'm
was
joking.
really you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was me outside your window, but you didn't have to I didn't know you were photographing it.
Well, you never know.
So anyway,
Shit.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, Dave's the best in the business. And
He
that's
is
why.
one of a
So
kind, that is for sure.
that's going on there right there. Before we wrap up the show, a couple of things about a sponsor of ours, Farm to Table Pittsburgh. It is mushroom season, folks. Aaron Hart's going to be with us next week talking to us about them on Wednesday. You can go to farmtotablepa.com, find out where all the outdoor farmers markets are, how you can get your CSAs, how you can get your food delivered to you, and where you can support local farms. Buy fresh, buy local, keep it local at farmtotablepa.com. All right, folks. So we're wrapping up another week. This is week 29.
My God.
Week 29 of the show, episode 95 in the books. So we're going to wrap it up. We've got a great week lined up for next week. Pete, tell them about some of the people that are going to be with us next week.
Shit, who's gonna be on next week? We got Chris Dose from Anti-Flag.
Chris Dose from Anti-Flag.
We got Sarah Innamorato, state representative. We have more of Dave's smooth music.
Dave Bracey, Natalie Bencivenga, Sherry Goldstein.
There you go.
Sherry, I love
Phil
Sherry.
Cresswell from the NHL.
That's right. Looking pretty
Aaron
sweet.
Hart.
Yeah, and more. It's an action-packed week. We're really excited about it. We're going to be adding a couple other people to the lineup that haven't exactly confirmed what day it's going to be. So
George
tune
Michael.
in. George Michael's already here. I thought you were George Michael. Look at that. Look at that.
You've better hair, Pete.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ooh, that is some praise.
Thanks for letting me crash the party tonight.
Oh no, this was a
thanks for
blast. I
crashing.
mean, this was perfect. This was the perfect night for it. You kind of made our night. So
anytime you want to jump in and hang out, you're welcome to. You can even push Patrick off the show.
Yeah, Pete would love that. Because he has no quarter for me, man. He doesn't care at all.
I didn't get a chance to tell you, Nat, what a great job you did last week on the Allies Ball. That was great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was really fun. It turned out really, really great. You guys were so awesome to let Allies do that and take over, and it was really great to be part of it. So it was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Well, everybody, we're wrapping it up here. Thank you so much. Take care of each other. Wear your mask. It's okay. Obviously, hopefully now everybody does. When I was driving around today, I did see a lot more people wearing masks than on a normal day.
Imagine that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, do that. And don't ever forget what Sally Wiggins told us.
When I walk out and there's someone without a mask and they come too close to me, I'm just racked with fear, and then I want to punch them in the face.
Let's make Sally happy. Let's make her feel comfortable. She's earned it.
I love Sally.
So do I. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Have a great weekend.
You